Hello everybody and welcome back to Tree of Tranquility. You can see we started the day off right with a beautiful wedding, I must say, between myself and Chase. Nice winter setting. And the other great thing about the wedding ceremonies in this game is that they don't actually take up an entire day. It only took up about 4 hours of our day. And so now we're free to go out and do all of our regular chores, make sure all the animals are fed, do all of our planting and stuff for the season. And you'll also see that on your calendar, your wedding anniversary is going to be marked so that you don't forget it as it comes around every single year. So we can see that Chase isn't just relegated to the house. He's going to leave and take off and do, his own thing. We should decide how to split the work. Oh, so are you gonna do some work for me, or are you just saying that? Because I know in Animal Parade, you can get your spouse to do chores for you. He might just be saying that for the sake of dialogue in terms of being married, which would make sense. Him basically just saying like, oh, now that we're married, we should split the work. I don't actually think you can assign your spouse to do work in this game, from what I remember. But it's kind of useful in Animal Parade because you can get your spouse to do certain things like picking up eggs or doing watering and things like that. Oops. I charged my tool too much. I can only do a 3x3 square, it looks like. So now we have to get everything planted. I do have that row of, I think they're blue mist flowers, and I don't think they're gonna come in, which is kind of a shame because they're very, very expensive flowers, and I only managed to I only got about 2 or 3 rows of that last season. So we'll put our green bell seeds and our yellow herb seeds on this field, and I'll put the buckwheat on my other field. Now, I phoned Taylor's last night to check to see what he had available, but he didn't have anything for me. He basically had everything that I had already purchased. The only things he had in winter were the buckwheat, the green herb flowers, and the yellow herb seeds. So it may be a good idea for us to go to Ruth, because I do believe that Ruth may have a couple of flowers we don't have currently. And just for fun, I'm gonna leave the blue mist flowers out for a little bit and see what happens. Because I do know if you leave crops from the previous season for a day or two, you might still be able to get something off of them, but I think eventually they'll die. I generally don't leave stuff out, so I'm gonna leave it for a day or two and I'll just see what happens. I'll go check on the chickens here, or the silkworms rather. The chickens are all outside. Looks like I've got my usual few eggs, but no cocoons today. So I'll go ahead and make our mayonnaise, and then I guess I'll go and plant some buckwheat in the other field. I don't know if it's going to be worth it for me to keep going back and forth to the other field or not. I might get tired of just planting flowers, and I might not want to plant any more flowers, and so instead I'll just plant buckwheat on my other field. I don't know, but we'll have to see. Whatever kind of mood I'm in, I suppose. The good thing, at least, is that there isn't anything in winter that is replenishable. So if I do decide that that's my best course of action, I just have to wait for whatever I have currently to grow in, and then I can leave the space and plant it closer to home if I don't feel like going all the way down there. But I'll go check it out. I do believe I left some stuff on my field. I think I left eggplants and some yams because I was hoping I'd get another day out of them. Yeah, see, so it was worth it for me to leave the eggplants because I got an extra harvest out of them. The yams probably need another day, but I'm not too worried about it. I think I'll just go ahead and chop all these down. If I can get the right camera angle here. Ugh, I'm gonna keep doing that. It's such a habit for me to hold down the button as long as possible because I'm used to watering things with my watering can, but I don't quite have a fully upgraded hoe. I'm also going to use some of my fertilizer on this side of the field because you can see there's a few squares here that aren't all that fertile, so we'll use it on here. And I'll probably just end up planting this stuff over here. So let's go ahead and make a couple of squares. I'm not sure if I have the fully upgraded hoe, so I'll just go ahead and plant. Even if I don't plan on using these squares, I might just go ahead and plow through this anyways. The reason for that being is it's just less maintenance. I don't have to worry about going ahead and worrying about trees coming in and weeds and stuff like that. So I might just go ahead and do it this way. I also get more levels on my hoe if I do that, so I'll just go ahead and till this entire field. It doesn't take long anyways. And I'll probably use the other bag of fertilizer I have over on those couple of squares in the corner. Because I did buy 3 bags. I thought I might have needed more fertilizer than I actually do, so I'll probably still be stuck with 1 bag. Although I guess I could use it there. Oops. I don't know why I brought out the egg. The egg is not fertilizer. So I'll go ahead and use it there, and then I can just fill in these couple of spots. There we go. And finally, let's get around to planting our buckwheat. I went ahead and I bought 6 rows of these, so I should be able to fill out this little area here. And I think I'll put this one up here. There we go. I know buckwheat is used in quite a few recipes, and I don't have any on storage right now, so I'll probably end up keeping a couple of these for cooking, but I think I'll probably sell the majority of it, obviously. And hopefully I can get some nice quality stuff, and I'll be able to make some more money. I'm going to head on over to Souffle Farm before it closes today, and I'm going to have a look at what else I can possibly pick up in winter. Aside from there maybe being 1 or 2 more flowers, I don't think there's much else. I'm pretty sure that buckwheat is literally the only crop that you can get in wintertime. Oh, and looks like I got a few more apples off the tree before they all died. The poor orchard looks so sad. They've lost all their leaves and they won't be able to get anything off of them until spring. I obviously don't need the money, so I probably don't need to go full force on the crops if I don't want to, but it really depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling lazy or if I'm feeling like, yeah, I do want to have a nice big full farm. So we got here just in the nick of time before it closes. And yeah, the 2 flowers I was thinking of was the anemones and the snowflake flowers. So I'll buy a few rows of each of these, and that way I can at least have a good, honest try at growing everything in the season before I decide if I want to keep growing them or not. I don't have any room to plant them right now. I probably have to wait for those blue mist flowers to either come in or die, and then that will free up a row. I think I probably could plant them, but I'll probably just wait for what I have growing to come in first, because there's really no hurry. I have the whole season, and because I don't have to worry about cycling out various crops, there's not really any sort of rush to grow them. So I'll head back to my house now. That day went by super quickly. I guess it's because we started late and because we did keep busy. Tomorrow we'll be up bright and early at our usual 6 a.m. start time. And I don't see Chase, so I assume that he's probably still at his job and he's going to keep his job, which is kind of nice. I like the idea that things don't necessarily have to change when you get married, and you don't have to give up your freedoms and your routines and stuff like that. You can just kind of keep doing what you were doing before you were married, so that's kind of cool. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on his schedule to kind of see where he is and what he's up to. I'm gonna go ahead and just put my seeds in the box for now. And I'll sort through the rest of my inventory later. I'll probably make my yard and stuff like that before I go to bed today, but other than that, I don't really have a whole lot to say. If we take another look at our calendar here, you can see that we're pretty wide open and free. We've really got nothing going on until the end of the week, or the end of the month rather, the final week of the month, where it gets a little bit busy. We have the flea market, Starry Night Festival, and the New Year's Eve Festival. The New Year's Eve Festival might be interesting this year because I do believe it is a family event, and at the very least we should have a husband now to go with, which will be great. And our Starry Night Festival is going to be perhaps a little bit different because, again, we don't have a date to pick, we just go with our spouse. So it's going to be nice to never be alone for those romantic festivals again. We'll always have someone to go with, which is quite nice. If I look on the friendship screen, your spouse will now be in here as the same place that they were, unless they get ahead of someone else or something like that. It doesn't look like getting married actually increased my hearts, but it will say that you're married now. And I'm not sure if your spouse shows up in any of the other screens. I don't think so. I think it's basically just here it'll state that you're married. It'll have something on the calendar, and people's dialogue might change. I'm not too sure. I haven't looked into that yet. But we'll get updates gradually. We'll have to see how it works with the kids and all of that stuff. And for now, we just have to be patient and wait and see what happens. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.